Well, NWA just got a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys last year. Well, not last year, but just recently.
Yeah,
in
24.
February.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that just passed. How did that feel?
It felt different. I don't know if it felt better than the rock and roll, but a Grammy, you know, they were just like, oh, okay, you know, after all this time, they give us something.
Oh, so they gave you actual Grammys for the Lifetime Achievement?
Yeah.
Oh,
we actually had, it was a ceremony, but it wasn't on the main ceremony. It was the day before, on a Saturday.
Oh.
I was like,
Yeah,
you couldn't even put us, because they do so much now, so many awards on Sunday. So they had a special, because I'm trying to think of the lady that won Patti LaBelle or somebody. Gladys Knight got one the same time we did. And I'm like, Gladys Knight, remember when I was little, you know, heard her before. So that was like an honor. And we just got Apple Music Top 100 Award.
Right.
I just got that in the mail just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, Apple Music included Straight Outta Compton as
Yeah.
100 best albums
Yeah.
of all time, which is very well deserved.
Yeah, because think about it, it's been thousands and thousands of albums made. It's been great albums.
There's thousands of albums this year that have come out.
Yeah.
Maybe even this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, NWA has a very special place in my heart because I don't know if I ever told you the story, but like I was a hip hop kid from elementary school. I was a break dancer. I was hip hop. I got to junior high, you know, all my friends listened to hip hop, and I got into a bunch of trouble. Like the principal, the vice principal threatened me, and my parents were like, okay, we're taking you out of the school, putting you in a private school for a couple of years to just get you away from this craziness. So I get transferred to a private school, and nobody in the school listens to hip hop.
Yeah.
Everyone's listening to modern rock and Depeche Mode and whatever else. So, you know, I'm going along with what my friends are listening to, and I kind of stopped listening to hip hop for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go back to high school, to public school again. And I remember a friend of mine in class said, hey, listen to this. This is Eazy-E.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is just so good. You know, it was just like Eazy-E, Eazy-Duz-It didn't have to grow on you.
Yeah.
You heard it, and you instantly were like, this is very special.
Yeah.
The production, the vocal tone, the lyrics,
Oh, yeah.
the skits.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Compton. I truly thought, because of what Eazy said, that Compton was in Michigan. I truly believe that, right? I truly believe.
You from the Valley, huh?
Right. I truly believe. Well, no. I'm from the Bay.
Oh, okay.
I grew up in the Bay.
Even further up north.
That's even further. I hadn't been to LA at all. Think about it.
Okay.
A high school kid that's never been to LA.
Yeah.
You listen to this album. It's like, oh, you come from Compton, Michigan. I'm like, oh, okay, Compton, Michigan. All right. That sounds normal to me, right? You know, I'm sure there's other rappers out in Compton, Michigan as well. And yeah, man. And I was just like, I fell in love with hip hop. And then that made me sort of dig up like N.W.A. and the Posse, and then like the Gangster single.
Yeah.
You know, because
Boys in
the
the
album,
Hood, all that.
Yeah, Boys, yeah, well, yeah, because Straight Outta Compton hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, okay.
The album.
88, 87 probably.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was right at that time where Eazy had dropped. And you got to think this is an independent album.
Yeah.
So it's not all over Warehouse Records and new releases. Like, you have to know about it. It was on cassette.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even think the CD was out.
No, it wasn't no CD.
There wasn't a CD out. So this is what I'm saying. This is a very underground moment.
Yeah.
And you look at me at 51 years old, I've devoted a majority of my life to hip hop. And I really feel that was a pivotal moment right then and there. Something that you helped create really moved my life in a direction that I'm very glad
You know, it's a lot of people
turned out
talk.
to. You know?
A lot of people talk like you too.
Really?
I go around the world and they say, man, you guys was my soundtrack to my childhood. I'm like, huh? It's amazing how people listen to that music. Okay, the East Coast of New York was great. It started.
Yeah.
But when we came, we just put a whole big twist on it.
Yeah.
And it got into the suburbs, and that was it. Once it get to the suburbs, that's it.
Yeah.
It was you, and you
I
don't
was
know
in the
nothing about
suburbs.
LA.
I was in San Mateo, California, in the suburbs. A white kid played me that song. Okay, let's just
Wow.
right and like you didn't hear people say motherfucker
Yeah.
like that
Oh yeah.
all the time.
That was our daily language.
Right. Right. In the Bay, we didn't really talk like that. So you got to. I always feel like the greatest hip hop puts you in that place.
Yeah.
It really creates a visual for you of like, okay, you are now in my environment, and I'm gonna. If you close your eyes and listen to the music, it'll actually put you there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you guys did.
Yeah. I mean, because our lyrics was so, this is all we know, and writing what we know, just, we're only talking about what we know.
Yeah.
We open that door, that's exactly what we talk about.
Why was the Eazy-E album first? I mean, because there was the compilation, like N.W.A. and the Posse, right?
Well, that was not an album. That was just some songs Dre had did, which was Feel a Fresh Crew, which the DOC was in.
Right.
And a few other people on there. It was just some songs at Macola. It was a compilation.
Right.
They only did that is when they was waiting on our album, our second album, after the N.W.A., after the Eazy-E. Because we didn't have an album.
No. But the N.W.A. album wasn't out yet.
When the Posse?
No, it was not. It was not. I remember I was listening to the Posse waiting for Straight Outta Compton.
But you might have been listening to some songs off the Posse.
Well, it was called N.W.A. and the Posse. I remember
not before Straight Outta Compton.
Before Straight Outta Compton?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Hold on a second. Let's look up the dates. Hold on.
This is me he talking to.
I know. But these are, we're talking about 30-year-old situation. It's like, and sometimes you're talking about, what was it, May or April? Yeah. I don't know. We're not that
because
young.
like 8 Ball and some of the songs.
Right, 8 Ball was on there. Okay, hold on a second.
Might have forgot Yella.
Nah, NWA, Straight Outta Compton. Because that went gold and Eazy went gold before all that.
Okay, well, here's my point. N.W.A. and the Posse was released on November 6th, 1987.
Was it really?
Straight Outta Compton was August 8th, 1988.
Really? I would have never.
The only reason I remember is I remember what I was doing in my life during that time. Yeah. Like, I remember I was in high school, and I remember hanging out, working out to N.W.A. and the Posse, waiting for Straight Outta Compton to come out. And listening to, like, 8 Ball and some of these songs early.
Yeah.
Because the album wasn't out. And I remember when the album
Because we had them like maxi singles coming out.
Right.
Ruthless Villain.
Yeah.
That was on, it was 4 songs on a single.
Right. I think like Gangster had like, you guys were getting your shoe shined by a white dude or something like that. Like that was the album cover or the single cover. No, I remember. Yeah. So it was a year earlier.
Wow.
I was right. So why did the Eazy-E album drop before the N.W.A. album? Well, with him not even really wanting to be the rapper.
I mean, you got to go back to how it started. One group, you look at the Eazy-E album, that looked just like an N.W.A. album, if you look at the cover.
Yeah, everyone's on the cover. Yeah.
So Dre or whoever came up with it, I think it might have been Dre, to make it 2 groups. See, we thought of it then as that's double money. Instead of one group just Eazy-E, might as well N.W.A., Eazy-E. So we made it 2, and his was easier to do first.
Why?
Because some of the songs was made already. Boys in the Hood was made already. 8 Ball was made already. So them was easy to pull and put them on the album. Just like Straight Outta Compton. We pulled singles and put them on the album. Sure did.
Right, because you and Dre started together doing music first, right?
Yeah, Wrecking Crew.
Right, but before the Wrecking Crew.
Before the Wrecking Crew was me DJing and making mixtapes. Before, I was in the Wrecking Crew, but Dre wasn't in the Wrecking Crew for 2 to 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah, I was the DJ in the club at first.
Oh, okay, so then Dre came around after you'd already been in.
After I was the man.
Why did you guys decide to let Dre in?
Oh, I don't know. That was Lonzo.
That was Lonzo's idea.
Yeah.
Okay. When he first came around.
Dre and then Clientele. Yeah, that was.
Okay. Was it obvious, though, when he first came around, that like the talent level?
No.
No?
I mean, he could scratch. I mean, but we were just DJs at the time. So we ended up being DJs together for, I don't know, a while. A year or, I don't know if it was 2 years. Before music came up.
Okay, so when did he actually start making beats, though?
Once we started, I don't know the year, Could be 84, 80. I don't know what the year. Whenever Surgery came out.
Right. So did he produce those songs?
He did Surgery. But at that time, it was this guy named Daniel Sulfur. He used to have the drum machine, the keyboard and stuff. And he could program it and all that, put the bass in, the keyboard and the chord sounds. So he would come in, Lonzo would hire him to come in. I don't know if he played the music or he played what he wanted him to play. This was before we had to learn how to play this stuff. So it was like early Wrecking Crew. Once we started doing music, we both started learning drum machines, then end up, the board, we learned everything because after a while, we didn't need an engineer. Just cut on the mic and that's it. Because we did everything. That was the difference between us. We kept it all in-house. All in-house. We wanted a sound for a sample, hire a guitar player, bass player, or whatever it is we need, keyboard player. And that's how we got our sound. Because you listen to our sound, it's not just all samples.
No.
East Coast was all samples.
Yeah.
Ours was more musical.
Yeah, I remember reading this interview with Jimmy Iovine, and Jimmy was an engineer himself, right? He did like John Lennon and
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, he was working on major projects, right? I mean, if you're doing John Lennon, you're kind of
Oh yeah.
you're at the top of your game.
Yeah.
And I remember reading how when he first met Dre, and he was listening to the Chronic, and he's basically like, "This is the best engineered album I've ever heard. Who did your engineering?" Dre was like, "I did." He's like, "Oh yeah, we gotta do a deal. Like, I gotta work with you." Was there something about Dre's engineering that's different? When you said you guys started getting rid of engineers,
I mean, we learned it together. We just knew how to mix the sound. The key to mixing, when we recording it, you EQ the sound. Most people have it flat or something. We EQ it like we want to hear it.
as you're recording,
When we record it, we EQ it.
huh?
So then we come back and finish the song and come back to mixing it, we EQ it again. But we also added like a kick drum. We may have 3 kick drums, 3 separate kick drums, 2 or 3 snare drums, so we fatten our sound. But that came from DJing, hearing other people's records.
Yeah.
We just learned that. It was simple. Nothing spectacular about it, but we just learned it. Most artists or groups or whatever, they don't know nothing about the equipment. Nowadays they do, but back then we just learned it step by step, everything. No schoolwork, no books, no nothing. The ear never lies. I don't care where you are. If you got a good set of ears, they don't lie.